Hello and welcome to this watercolor video. Today I'm going to show you how to paint some super simple leaves using pretty color combinations. So let's get started. So yesterday was a bit of a stressful day, and if you're a parent, you probably know how some of those days are. So at the end of the day, after I tucked in the kids, I just played around with some pretty leaf shapes and just no pressure. I tried out some different color combinations that I thought would be soothing. I put on some Eckhart Tolle on my laptop and just kind of zoned out and painted, and long story short, just getting myself into a real state of relaxation with no pressure painting of these leaves. This is already what I call my ugly art journal that I stitched with some embroidery thread, and I did some washi tape around the borders. Anyway, it's an ugly journal, so I don't have any expectations for the art I put in that. I guess it justifies the not having to put any pressure on the art if it's inside an ugly journal that I don't have to worry about ruining. Anyway, as I said, I was playing with some colors, and I thought that using Payne's Gray, Green Gold, and Quinacridone Magenta was a really pretty color combination. So that's what I'm using here, and I'm just painting in some wet on wet. The paper that I use in this journal is Fabriano Hot Press. So I'm getting some really interesting designs with the wet and wet within these leaves. So I'm alternating between more highly pigmented Payne's Gray and more of a lighter watery wash, and I drop in some of the green gold, and then vice versa, paint a little bit of the green gold and then drop in some of the Payne's Gray, and then just see what happens. Even though some of these leaves are already starting to dry in some areas, I'm not getting that wet and wet bloom effect, but I don't really mind. I can re-wet the areas if I need to. I'm just trying to let it be abstract, be what it is, and just enjoy the mark making process. For this next one, I started with Quinacridone Magenta. This time I'm making branches where branches come off of the branches, and then just these little heart-shaped leaves. And on this one, I'm going to try to mix all the colors in varying degrees and see what that looks like. So here I'm starting with the magenta, and I'm filling it in a bit, but not all the way. I want to leave a little room for some of those other colors. Now I'm dropping in a little bit of the green gold. Kind of neutralizes that purple, makes it nice and soft and It kind of takes away some of that extra brightness. And a little of the Payne's gray to darken it in some areas and just to see what it looks like. Now I'm dropping in a little extra water just to get those pigments to move around and blend even more. Once that dries, I'm going to do another layer of leaves in front of it. This time I'm taking the Payne's gray and just making a few branches, trying not to completely cross over the initial branches, just staggering it a bit. I just wanted to add another level of dimension to this pretty leaf and branch shape. You can see as it dried, it just made these really pretty nice little mini washes of color inside the leaves. For this one, I'm going to make multiple colors on one stem. So I'm staggering with the green gold, just doing these long brush strokes. Then I'm going to alternate with the magenta, making it nice and watery, using the tip and the belly of my brush just to push down, pull, and make that pretty long leaf shape. And then finally the Payne's gray, just adding that in those empty spaces. One more there. Go with the magenta. And then just connect them to one long stem. I'll switch between the colors so it looks a little bit more variated. So whether it's late at night and you need to unwind, or it's first thing in the morning and you just want to get your creative juices flowing, I recommend doing a project like this. Something really easy, no pressure, and pick out some of your favorite colors or just something you want to experiment with and see what happens. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more art tutorials like this one. For more beginner level watercolor projects, click on one of these videos. Thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you next time.